How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be talking about the Premier League because there's been one new positive test for coronavirus. We're also going to be talking about Manchester City because they're going to have to wait till July to find out whether their European ban is upheld or overturned. And the last piece of news involves Luka Jovic because it looks like his time at Real Madrid may well be over. And one of the clubs interested is apparently Arsenal.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place we're going to start is the Premier League, and the news that broke yesterday that there has been one more positive test for coronavirus in the 7th round of testing. The Premier League has confirmed there is one new positive case in their latest round of testing. The results were from the 7th round, in which 1,213 players and club staff were tested on Monday and Tuesday. The first 6 rounds of COVID-19 testing returned 13 positives and 6,261 negatives. Top flight action in England is scheduled to resume on June the 17th when Aston Villa play Sheffield United and Manchester City face Arsenal. Manchester United were forced to cancel a friendly with Stoke at the last minute on Tuesday after the Championship side's manager Michael O'Neill tested positive for COVID-19. The sides were due to meet at United's Carrington Training Centre, but the match was immediately abandoned without kicking a ball when the Northern Irishman tested positive, with United insisting none of their squad came into contact with him. Premier League clubs will hold a vote on Wednesday on proposals to limit the number of playing staff who can attend the matches. All 20 clubs have spent the last week considering a number of pre-match protocols and accommodation and travel to away games, which are expected to be agreed during Wednesday's video conference call. The meeting will provide the last chance for a number of key issues to be resolved, with top clubs lobbying hard for their ever-increasing backroom staff to be allowed to attend away matches. Some top clubs travel with more than 60 staff and club directors in tow, and also up to 3 specialist goalkeeping coaches and security guards. However, the Premier League is keen to trim numbers to all but essential staff on match days to just 37 pass holders per team, including 20 players, 12 coaching and medical staff, and 5 essential members of staff. So pretty interesting. There's no news as to who the person that's tested positive is. Is it a player? Is it a member of staff? But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, in terms of the numbers, that's very, very small in significance when you're looking at the numbers. And there's been 1,213 players and club staff tested and only one positive back. I suppose the question you will ask is that if a player's been, in quarantine or isolation, shall we say, and they've been, sticking to the guidelines how they should be, then how's he ended up with coronavirus? And could he have potentially passed it on to other club teammates and we won't find out for another week or so? It's one of the dangerous ones, shall we say, and as to what happens and where they get it from. And we're only less than a week away from the Premier League starting again, so it's a good sign in that respect that there's only one, but you just got to hope that the numbers can stay down and that eventually we get none, and then there's no issues in terms of all the staff going to games and stuff. I don't think that you're going to end up with 60-70 staff. They're talking about masseurs, and it's not going to happen. Essential staff, backroom and everything else. But let's just get the games done, and let's see where they end up. So in terms of things, in the grand scheme of things, it's not actually that bad. When you look at all the news and the way they highlight it, that there's one test positive, but the big scheme of it, 1,213 people tested and only one comes back positive. So that's actually a good sign. So we'll wait and see what happens and whether news will come out as to who actually has it. Next piece of news involves Manchester City because for the last 3 days They have been at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, fighting their ban from European football. And the decision will be announced at the start of July. I said a few days ago when I spoke about this that it wouldn't get announced, straight away and whatnot. But the 3-day hearing between Manchester City and UEFA was conducted by video conference and concluded on Wednesday. At the end of the hearing, both parties expressed their satisfaction with respect to the conduct of the procedure. Read a statement from the CAS following the hearing. The panel of arbitrators in charge of this matter will start its deliberations and prepare for the arbitral awards containing their decision. The decision is expected to be issued during the first half of July. The exact date will be communicated in advance. Manchester City were appealing UEFA's decision in February to ban them from European competition for 2 years and fine them £25 million for serious breaches of UEFA's financial fair play regulations between 2012 and 2016. It's going to be a long wait for Manchester City. It's only going to be about 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks, and then we're going to get a decision back. To everyone else, that time will pass relatively quickly. To Manchester City, it will probably drag on for a long time. And it's very significant to the rest of the Premier League because 5th place could be up for grabs in terms of a Champions League place if this ban is upheld. And the one thing I will say is that if this decision is made by the Court of Arbitration, then there is no other form of appeal. Manchester City cannot go to anyone else and have this overturned. This decision will be final. I still feel that the 2 years may get cut to 1. I don't think Manchester City are going to get it overturned completely. That's just my opinion on the matter. But we will wait and see. And like I was explaining a couple of days ago in one of my shows, that it's got everybody waiting to see what happens. And obviously when this decision is made, if they are banned, we'll have a more clearer picture as to who will take that 5th place, because 4 or 5 matches or so would have probably been played by then, and there might be a clearer indication as to who could get that 5th spot, and it could be going right down to the final weeks of the season. But we will wait and see in due course, no doubt. Last piece of news involves Arsenal, because Arsenal are reportedly interested in securing the services of Real Madrid for Luka Jovic on a season-long loan deal. While the Gunners are well stocked for options in the final third, the possible exit of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has left Mikel Arteta needing to reconsider affordable alternatives. Due to the financial implications of the coronavirus pandemic, a loan agreement for a high-profile replacement may suit the North London outfit. According to reports, that has left Arsenal identifying Jovic as a possible addition during the next transfer window. After only being provided with 5 starts in La Liga and Champions League this season, the 22-year-old is expected to depart the Bernabeu on a temporary basis. The report suggests that AC Milan are also contemplating whether to make an approach for the Serbia international. He's signed for Real Madrid for over £50 million. And when he was at Eintracht, he was on fire. And I remember in the season when they got to the semi-finals of the Europa League, and he was scoring goals for fun. He got that big massive move to Real Madrid. There was the big announcement, Perez holding the big press conference, and that he was going to be the future and everything else, but it just has not worked out for him at all. I don't know where I sit on this one. It's obvious that he's got talent. But it could be one of those scenarios where, he's young and maybe the move was too soon. Maybe he should have, really established himself for a little bit more, for a few more seasons. And it's tough. 22 years old, going to a club like Real Madrid and having so much weight put on your shoulders. Only the strongest survive those kind of scenarios. And it may take a little while for some of these players to adapt and be able to deal with the pressures that come with clubs like Real Madrid. So maybe a loan deal out for a season, 2 seasons may be the right move. Maybe that's something that Real Madrid are looking at. I don't think they want to get rid of him on a permanent basis. Maybe get rid of him to somewhere for a year so that he can develop and maybe get his confidence back. Is that something that Arsenal could do? I'm not too sure. I don't doubt his talent. But if you're talking about replacing him, you know, for Aubameyang, not for me. Go all out in keeping Aubameyang than, you know, replacing him with the likes of Jovic. It's interesting that if we got rid of Lacazette, maybe he could come in as a replacement there. But again, I'd rather keep Lacazette, to be quite honest with you. So it's an interesting one. And again, it just seems that Arsenal's name are getting thrown in the hat when anyone's mentioned as to being available. So we'll wait and see. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.